The government of Quebec passed a law this weekend prohibiting some public servants from wearing religious symbols on the job. Supporters say it enshrines the separation of church and state. Catholic bishops say it will nourish fear and intolerance, and the National Council of Canadian Muslims is taking legal action. Now, this new law, formerly known as Bill 21, bans the wearing of religious symbols, all of them, including crosses, yarmulkes, hijabs, Sikh turbans, and it also requires citizens to uncover their faces to receive a public service for identification or security purposes. Joining me now by Skype from London, Ontario is Derek Ross, Executive Director and General Counsel of the Christian Legal Fellowship. Derek, welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Lauren.
Let me get this straight. All religious symbols are included: crosses, hijabs, turbans, kippas or yarmulkes. Doesn't the Constitution guarantee religious freedom?
It certainly does. And in fact, that's one of the first fundamental freedoms that's protected in our Charter of Rights, which is Canada's constitutional Bill of Rights. But what the Quebec government has done with this law that you just mentioned, which bans the wearing of religious symbols by certain government workers, is they've invoked a rarely used provision of our Constitution called the Notwithstanding Clause, Section 33 of our Bill of Rights, that basically allows a government in certain circumstances to limit a fundamental freedom, including freedom of religion, for a certain period of time. And that's one of the many reasons why this bill has been so controversial.
Well, the prohibition wearing religious symbols only applies to new employees. So those who were employed can wear them as long as they keep their current job. If they're promoted, not so much. So what happens if they refuse?
That's one of the questions that's outstanding as a result of the legislation. It's not entirely clear what the penalties are going to be, but we do know that the law has a provision in place that says that government will be able to take what they call corrective measures. And for all intents and purposes, the expectation is that an employee, a government employee that does not comply with this new edict would in all likelihood be losing their jobs.
Do you think this will be overturned?
Well, that is the ultimate question that a lot of folks are asking. We're concerned about the culture this law is creating, an anti-religious culture. When you think about it, what the law is saying is that your religion interferes with your ability to do your job well, to do it impartially and properly. So whether you wear a religious symbol or not, if you're a person of faith, think about what this culture is going to contribute to. You will be intimidated and pressured to suppress your faith and keep it to yourself, and that cannot be a good thing. And we do hope that others will see that the problems associated with this and that this law will be overturned.
Derek Ross, Executive Director and General Counsel of the Christian Legal Fellowship, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm betting that we haven't heard the last about that law.